Chemical Fancast. I'm Haley.
And I'm Kat.
And this is a podcast about all things My Chemical Romance. I almost said I'm Kat.
You know what? You just gotta be who you are.
And today I feel like Kat.
What does that feel like?
I don't know. It feels a little strange.
Hey. In any case, this
Yes.
week we have 3 songs to cover. I Don't Love You, House of Wolves, and Cancer.
Mm-hmm.
The good middle section of the album.
Do we have anything to say before we get into the songs, or you just want to go in?
Only that Umbrella Academy is coming out so soon.
Oh my god.
The trailer was just released. The song was just released.
Oh boy.
Where Gerard and Ray and Jared covered
And Jared.
covered Simon & Garfunkel's Hazy Shade of Winter.
Wow.
So good.
What a bop.
I love it.
I literally had it like on repeat the morning after it came out. On my way to work, I was just like, replay.
Yeah.
Replay.
I really liked all of Gerard's single releases.
Yeah,
they're all really different.
Yes.
But I really like them.
I really like it. I like the way he's branching out.
I don't think he's going to make these into an album unless he makes them into just sort of like an album that's more of a compendium and not really an album, like it has an alien.
Yeah.
But I still dig it. Also, my voice sounds like a man's voice because I'm sick, so hope you're into that.
I think maybe it just sounds like a man's voice in your head.
It does in my head. I sound like I could be
like it's
a boy.
Mildly lower
than
normal, but it's not anything super drastic. So I think you're good.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah. All right. So first song, I Don't Love You.
Never think I'll make you try to stay.
My first note is sad boy.
It is a ballad, okay? And it is a sad love song for sure. It fulfills a trope. I think it's the most conventional sounding song off the record, with also the most conventional video. So I think a lot of people don't like this song because of that. And it's not necessarily one of my favorites, but it is a great sing-along song. So
yes! Oh my gosh, that's in my notes!
I never skip it because I love singing along to it.
It's the most fun to sing. It's like the melody just like lends itself to singing.
Yeah, and like when they do it live, like everyone sing along to this song.
Yeah.
It's a good sing-along song.
It's a bop. But, so I also had that in my notes that most people, off of all the songs on the Black Parade, this is the song that most people don't like.
Right.
Like if they were going to choose their least favorite, this is on most people's lists.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because the lyrics are so typically sad boy. And my issue with this begs the question, why don't more people dislike Cubicles? If their issue with I Don't Love You.
Cubicles slaps so hard, okay?
I understand.
Listen, Cubicles is a great song. And it, like the end part of Cubicles, come on.
I know.
So good.
I understand. There's fantastic parts to both songs. I like both songs. There is not a single MCR song I do not like. But
I got one.
I know you got one. But I don't know. I don't know.
Here's the thing. Is I don't think that people don't like it because it's a sad boy song. I think they don't like it because it feels like out of step with the rest of the album.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because it was written on the Revenge tour.
Well,
so
yeah.
It is out of step with the rest of the album, and it kind of sounds like that. And it just sounds more like a conventional sad love song.
Right.
So, which isn't really, I mean, it goes with the concept of the album, but it's not exactly in theme with the rest of what's going on here.
Right.
I think that's why people don't like it. But if you don't like it for another reason, fucking tell us. We don't know. Because we like it.
Or if you really do like it and you want to defend it, let me know.
Have people on as like a debate.
Yeah.
Song wars.
And you can see the early version, one of the early versions of this on Life on the Murder Scene.
When the band was on tour with Green Day, we started discussing next record. I said, okay, let's get another bus and rip the back half out of it. And you can put a studio in. And so what they do is spend most of their days back there writing new material.
That sounds so nice. I really like that.
It's like a nice little melodic line, and you can tell like where it's going, and you can hear the similarities to the finished product for sure, but the lyrics obviously are totally different.
I think that they should have released this song as a one-off song that maybe sounds a little bit different because they didn't have to change it to make it sound like the sound of this album. And just release it as like a one-off single as like an extra or a B-side or something.
Right.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, it would have been good as a B-side, I think. But in the case of the concept, I think this is where we see the boxer's wife.
Okay, so here's the thing about this whole boxer's wife situation.
Okay.
I've heard people say this is about the boxer's wife. I've seen it nowhere written down that the boxer's wife even exists.
Listen, Cassie Witt says the boxer's wife exists.
Cassie, you're going to have to explain this to me because I don't see it anywhere.
I say that the boxer's wife exists because I trust Cassie Witt.
I believe that Cassie Witt heard it somewhere, but I'm going to need the receipts. I'm going to need the sources because I've never fucking heard of the boxer's wife anywhere else except that one MCR quiz. Cassie, help us. Help me.
I know there was somewhere else that I've seen it. I know there is because when I took the quiz for the first time, I got that question right. And I knew that the boxer's wife was a character. How did I know the boxer's wife was a character? Somewhere in the recesses of my mind, I remember an interview where they mentioned the boxer's wife. Could not tell you where I heard it from.
It also seems, I mean, the boxer's wife, just hearing it, I assume goes with like the trope of, you know, boxer movies where like the girlfriend is like, Eddie, you're going to get hurt.
Oh my gosh.
You know, it's like the SNL skit. I'm taking the kids to my sisters.
Anyway, I'm going to maintain that it's about something to do with a boxer or the boxer's wife because it has a couple references to boxing in the song.
I'm going to disagree. Or I'm going to say that the boxer's wife used to be a concept and then he got rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
But didn't get rid of it, like, officially.
Sure.
Also, are you saying that the gloves are the boxing reference?
Yes, take your gloves and get out, and when they knock you down and out. Those are the two boxing references.
I believe those could be boxing references, but again, I feel like the burden of proof is on you and that you have not met it. Wow. As far as proving to me that the boxer's wife is a character in this.
Wow.
When he names all the characters.
At Gerard. We need to talk.
At Gerard. This is a very at Gerard moment.
Yeah, it is. We need to talk. I have a couple questions. More than a couple, actually.
But before we got on that tangent, what the fuck were we talking about? The lyrics, I guess?
I guess. I don't know. If we disregard the concept, like the whole boxer aspect or whatever the fuck, I feel it lines up with the concept that it's the patient pushing someone away to like make his passing easier for both of them. Or maybe like the partner is leaving the patient. This is like, you know, before he's sick. Like the partner is leaving the patient because she doesn't feel anything for him anymore. Something like that. But directly from Gerard's mouth.
It's a song that's just very direct, and we saw this song as the patient looking back at his life in a moment where he made some mistakes.
Yeah, I feel like it's, coming back to the quote in a second, I think this is a song about the patient leaving his lover, not because he doesn't love her anymore, but because he thinks it'll be painful for her to see him die, and he wants to spare her from that.
Right.
And so he's being a dick and asking her to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And to tell him that she doesn't love him anymore, to make it less painful for him. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't feel like he's being such a dick.
Right. That seems to be a theme with the patient in this record so far, that he's being an asshole to everybody so that he pushes them away.
Sometimes you're an asshole. Sometimes you know you're an asshole, but you don't know another way to be.
Wow.
And sometimes you're dying and you don't have a lot of time to fix it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he has a conscience. He knows that, like, he's hurting this person, but he thinks that it's a smaller hurt.
Right.
Than being with him while he dies.
Right. I get that. And his conscience is about to bite him in the ass in the next song.
We'll get to that later. So musically, Ray says that they're going for the same vibe as CCR's Who Will Stop the Rain and Have You Ever Seen the Rain?
Yep.
And I think you can kind of get that in the chorus.
Turn to say, hey, I don't
it doesn't match up exactly like other songs we played clips of, but
Well,
the vibe is there.
yeah, I think for vocals, we're going to find it here.
And I wonder, still I wonder, who stopped the rain?
Like the in the chorus part, the heavy harmonies overlying on top of it.
Yeah.
Because it definitely has that, and I think vocally that it was maybe inspired by that. And Frank said that he thinks it's something that Otis Redding would have sung the shit out of. And Gerard said that he tried to riff kind of like him just before the second chorus. Honestly, like the riff wouldn't be out of place in any Otis Redding song if you just
with his voice on it, so it would be more yelly.
Right. And side note, I listened to a bunch of Otis Redding songs while I was doing my notes just to see if he like took it directly anywhere. I don't think he did, but it's just kind of the vibe of. But while listening to this to help myself make my notes faster, I put all Otis Redding songs on 1.5 speed, and he slaps.
On 1.5 speed?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Sped up, he slaps faster, man.
I do sometimes like songs play a little bit faster do sound better.
Yeah.
Like Hanging on the Telephone, I want to go just like not even 1.5.
Yeah.
Just like 15% faster.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sitting on the dock of the bay, sitting on the dock of the bay. It's like, it's a bop, man. It goes.
I can see that. Otherwise, Frank has his little counter melodies going in the verses. Really like those.
Yeah.
Really reminds me of Early Sunsets. He's so good at that. It's so good.
They placed I Don't Love You just after Black Parade because Ray said that I Don't Love You gives you some room to breathe after the bigness of Welcome to the Black Parade.
Yeah, you can't go to another big song after the saga you've just been through.
Yeah, you can't hit people with that like twice in a row.
Should we talk about the video?
Wait.
Okay, no.
I have an A.
Oh my god.
It's every time he says when you go. And as we said, they wrote this song in the back of their tour bus for Revenge. And they used it once or twice for sound check while on tour with Green Day. Can you imagine hearing them in sound check, like doing this song just like outside, you're outside the venue and you hear this and you're like, oh, I think that's MCR. I've never heard that song before. What's that song? And then you listen and you're like, what the fuck is that? Wow. Can you imagine?
I cannot.
Ray's solo.
It's chill. It's a chill solo.
But it's so good.
It's very good.
And live, I love when he...
Live, he switches it up.
I love when he
makes
changes
it longer.
It up.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, he like does the guitar fancies and he makes it different. It's very nice. And in the recorded version, they use a shit ton of reverb on his guitar as well as Gerard's vocals. But I find it funny that even on the guitar, they use a shit ton of reverb.
Need a lot of reverb.
Yeah, just to make it really dramatic.
Okay, the video. So this is my least favorite My Chemical Romance video. Not because it sucks, because it's still a fun-ass video.
Mm-hmm.
But put all their videos together, it's probably at the bottom of the list.
Yeah, something's got to rank the lowest.
Something's got to be the lowest. It's directed by Mark Webb again.
Yes, Mark Webb.
And the video goes, so you've got this girl who's painted all white with these giant CGI eyes.
She kind of creeps me out.
She's kind of terrifying.
To be honest.
Just like a bug lady. And she's in love with this man who's painted all black, who also creeps me out because, like, you can't paint the whites of or like the inner waterline of your eyes.
Yeah.
So like that part of creeps me out.
I mean, you can.
But I don't know. You can just tell.
Yeah.
It looks like cutouts. It looks strange.
Yeah.
And so they have a love story in a world where there's only one bench, one street lamp, and one tree. And it's intercut with a black and white. It's all black and white.
I love that you said it's a world with one bench, one tree, and one street lamp.
That's all we see.
Not that they're in a park with one bench, one tree, and one street lamp.
They're clearly in their own little bubble.
The whole world.
Yeah, the whole world. They live in their little bubble world. Like bubble universes. Anyway. So their story is intercut with a couple things. Mm-hmm. There's a shot of Gerard who's singing the song in close up. Mm-hmm. There's a shot of the full band playing in a large room. There's a shot of each member of the band falling individually through space.
Yep.
There's a shot of instruments blowing up. Mm-hmm. And finally, there's a shot of Frank throwing his guitar through glass.
Yep.
I love all those parts.
It's their like chance to be so dramatic. Mark was
Yes.
like, "Listen, you guys, this is gonna be the most dramatic video we've ever done."
I wrote down that this was a beauty video.
Yes, it's like a beauty shot. It's
It is.
amazing.
Everyone looks really good here.
They do, honestly. And Gerard, his hair is black,
Mhm.
and I think this was like the debut of his new black hair after it being bleached white.
I don't remember when it came out, but yeah.
Yeah, he had it, and I think we all think that Gerard had his hair dyed platinum for a much longer period of time than he actually did,
Mhm.
because they did so many performances between like when
Yeah, it was
came out.
it was honestly a short amount of time.
Yeah,
he went
it
back to
really
black
wasn't.
really fast.
Yeah, it wasn't that long.
Because he didn't, you can't do like roots with the platinum blonde hair. You have to keep it up.
Right.
And he's like,
It's a
I don't
lot of
know
work.
about that.
But he dyed it black in late December of 2006, and this was like the reveal of like, all right, we're back to black. So the close-ups of Gerard, if you watch in the outtakes,
The outtakes are
It's too
wild.
much.
You should watch them. They're very funny.
oh my gosh, it's too much. The camera is right up on his face for the entirety of the guitar solo in the outtakes. And I think someone was on the sidelines yelling, like, be sad, Gerard. Look sad. Look upset. You're upset. Like, anything to make him look sad, because the boy looked like he was about to cry.
Yeah, well,
The
he's
whole
very
thing.
good at that. You know,
Yeah.
he's a ham. So
It's like, it was just too much. It was a lot. The entirety of watching Frank throw the guitar
yes,
to the glass
I
takes
lo-
like 20 minutes.
yeah. I like it when you can tell, human reaction time, because he throws it, he watches it for a second, and then, I mean, it's so long. The
Yeah,
shot is so long.
it's
It's
so
in
long.
such slow motion. And you can tell, like, the delayed reaction of when he starts to pull back, because, like, this
Mhm.
glass is going to shatter in front of him. And he's like, I probably shouldn't be right here.
Yeah.
But
Like,
it
I'm
takes
like,
so long to get there because it's such a slow-mo shot.
Oh my gosh.
I also love the slow-mo of them playing but not playing, like thrashing around
Yeah.
the most. That is so funny.
So in the two actual characters of the video, at the end of the video, or towards the end of the video, the guy like touches the girl's cheek, and then when he like pulls away, there's like a black streak on her face.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like that was like super intentional. It was like, look at this mark that he is leaving upon this girl, and like it's just the whole video is so dramatic.
It feels very 2006.
Yeah.
It feels very of the time. That's why it also feels kind of cheesy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you'd make a better video now. A
Yeah.
different video. Like, yes, it's intentional, but like, is it great? No.
It's intentional, but is it necessary? Probably not.
Like, a high schooler could make it. I mean, it looks really good, but
Oh.
like, it's not like an original thought of like
Right.
two single colors coming together and mixing to make a new color.
Oh my
Like-
goodness gracious.
But it looks really fun to make.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to get to set an explosive charge in a Les Paul and just blow it the fuck up.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds great. Who gave them permission? Where did they get it? It's fantastic.
It's because they had money to do it.
Is that all we have for I Don't Love You?
That's all I got. That was my full page.
Next song, House of Wolves. I love this song. This is one of my favorite songs on the record. It didn't used to be, and I was unenlightened, but
Wow.
I'm an intellectual now, and I'm
Yes.
here for the party.
An
This song
intellectual.
slaps so fucking hard.
Yes, it does.
And there's such a contrast between this song and I Don't Love You.
Oh man. He was like reminiscing in the last one, and then he's like, oh shit, I was a bad person. Maybe I'm going to hell.
Maybe I am.
Maybe I'm gonna, when I die, I'm gonna go to hell. Wow.
But live, this song is so fucking good
Ooh,
live.
the energy.
There's always a really good intro for it,
Mm-hmm.
where usually Frank is doing, his pick slides. And he does them, he goes up the string and down the string, and somehow there's no break between him switching directions, which I've never been able to recreate. I have no idea how he does that so smoothly and so seamlessly. I've got no idea.
I couldn't tell you.
My only guess is like something with pedals, like he's got an effect that masks it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's frustrating,
You know, at
but
Frank.
it's great.
You gotta ask him. At Frank.
Like, it's easy. Just
It's easy. You just do this.
But this is Frank's song. This is a Franklin creation.
Franklin. Francesca.
Francesca. He wrote it at the Paramore in the middle of their lowest point when they weren't doing a lot of writing and were having a lot of frustrations.
Yeah, it was right after Mikey left the house.
Right. And Frank was getting nervous. He was like, I really got to start writing again.
You guys.
So I'm going to read you this quote from him about how he wrote it.
Okay.
I picked up this big red acoustic Rob always left at the house and decided to just riff around on stuff my dad might like. And what came out was the basis of House of Wolves. I showed it to the guys when we started working again. It makes me smile knowing a song I wrote for my dad got the record going again. What a nice Italian boy. Just loves his family.
Nice young man.
So cute. And I feel like the Frankishness of it is evident.
Yeah.
Because it's a pretty simple riff that's like most of the song. And it kind of reminds me of World Destroyer off of Parachutes. Like that song has heard this song.
Right. Yeah.
At least in like a bar or something. You know?
Frank is so good at coming up with riffs. He came up with the Destroyer riff. It's
because he doesn't overcomplicate it.
Oh,
he just
God,
keeps
it's
it
so
simple, but just commits.
Yes. As for influences, Gerard talked about it was reminiscent of the Smiths' early attempts at like rockabilly type songs. And so I went as far back as you can go in the Smiths' collection of songs. So I can't believe in the year of our Lord, 2019, Gerard Way is making me listen to the Smiths. This is the only one, there's two that it's like kind of reminiscent of it. So if it's going to be anything, it's going to be...
I don't think of that song as rockabilly.
Well, when I was listening to it, I heard the bass, and it kind of reminded me of the bass in House of Wolves. Mm-hmm. It kind of has that, like,
this is a very
I don't know,
song.
like, you want to snap to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's got, like, that beat, you know?
Yeah.
But wow, I mean, maybe if that was the influence, they just, like, heard that song one day and, like, it was, like, the smallest amount of influence.
Yeah, or it could be, like, maybe the intro of this song. Maybe. When I say the intro of this song is mildly similar to it, I don't mean it's similar to the intro of House of Wolves. I'm saying that the drums, especially in this one, are that same kind of bouncy feel to it. I can't think of any other Smith song that is reminiscent of it. I don't know. Gerard said he couldn't remember the exact song, so there is a reference that he's thinking of that he just couldn't remember the name of. I don't know what it is. I'm not familiar enough with the Smiths to know. And I don't wish to become so.
What can you say? Morrissey's an asshole.
I just can't.
He made songs that slap.
Man, I can't. And you know, I wish I had been one of those people that got into the Smiths before they heard that Morrissey was an asshole.
It's me.
I wish I could be like that, because then I would at least enjoy the Smiths. Like, I'm that way with the Smashing Pumpkins. I learned that Billy Corgan was an asshole, and I still enjoy the Smashing Pumpkins.
The Smiths and Smashing Pumpkins are where, like, I have a hard time.
Yeah, like whenever I listen to the Smashing Pumpkins, it comes on and I'm like, oh, fuck you, Billy Corgan.
You can like things that are problematic, but you can't defend people because they made things you like, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a weird place we're in.
Anyway, that's my rant on that.
Didn't go to the Smashing Pumpkins show.
Mm-hmm. Mikey said it was as if if Motorhead and the Stray Cats were hanging out in a club by a jukebox.
That's cute. So I think, I don't have much as far as like external influences, but I do think that this song is the intersection between Sharpest Lives and Mama. Mm-hmm. And
yes,
because it like thematically has a lot to do with both of them.
Yeah. Because
Sharpest Lives is about being a drunk, being an asshole in the earlier part of your life, which is like here too, because he's talking about his sins. And he's also talking about going to hell, which is present in Mama. And you've got Ray in here doing those little staccato parts. That are also in Mama.
Yeah.
Mama, we all go to hell. Mama, we all go to hell.
And I kind of feel like the chorus between House of Wolves and Sharpest Lives can be similar. Like there's a similar swing rhythm to parts of it that kind of sound like Sharpest Lives if it were sped up.
Right.
So I think lyrically it's the intersection between those two songs, and musically I think maybe they also put in some elements to make this a mesh of those.
Yeah, I
which
definitely
I think is
agree.
really cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Ray, when he heard the riff that Frank was doing and he heard kind of what it was becoming, he pictured like fire and brimstone. So for some reason that led him to Looney Tunes. So
This is like the most hellish song.
I know. So he thought of Looney Tunes, and you know, he said there was an episode where a character like the wolf, I think, gets knocked out and descends into hell, and it's a jazz club where this band is playing and they're wolves. And so just Ray pulling inspiration from cartoons cracks me the fuck up.
He loves cartoons.
Live your truth, Ray. And he makes it into the most badass stuff. He just is like, yeah, look at this cartoon. Now I'm gonna make a really cool riff off of it. I love Ray.
Also, the bridge in this song is fire.
You better run like the devil, cause they're never gonna leave you alone. You better hide up in the alley, cause they're never gonna find you a home. And as the blood runs down the walls, you see me creeping up these halls. I made a bad motherfucking take, sister, I'm another go.
They are really good at bridges.
God damn, they're good at bridges.
Fuck.
They never waste a bridge.
No, it's always like
They do sometimes waste a chorus, but they never waste a bridge.
Be quiet.
The only part of the song that I like that's my least favorite My Chem song is the bridge,
Oh my gosh.
which objectively slaps, even though I don't like the song.
Oh my gosh. Gerard felt that this was the patient being afraid of going to hell, or maybe he, quote, walks into a seedy bar in the afterlife and is reminded of the wages of sin.
That is hilarious for him to say that. Maybe he walks into a seedy bar in the
seedy
afterlife. Wow.
Wow.
I feel like if you're in the afterlife, you're done. Like, you
Not
can't
going to a
repent for
bar.
your sins anymore. That's what living is for you to go to church and go to confession. Speaking of confession,
There's so much Catholic guilt here.
Catholicism. Here we are again.
Yeah.
These are Catholic boys. We start off with contrition, which is about repenting your sins and confession. He's dying. He thinks he's going to hell. He's scared out of his fucking mind. So it sounds bad. And you mentioned the first Black Parade episode that Gerard depicts the devil in the album art with two twin wolves. So, House of Wolves. There you go. But yeah, he's been a dick in the past. He's sinned. And he's desperate for someone to tell him that he's not going to go to hell because he's very frightened of hell.
Right, he wants comfort.
Yeah, understandably. And he wants to be forgiven for his sins, but I don't know if that's going to happen for him. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I think if you're raised Catholic, you always have a fear that you're going to go to hell no matter how good of a person or bad of a person you are. You're always like, I'm going to go to hell.
Or maybe a Christian in general, because like,
Yeah.
my friends talked to me about that before, about like even the smallest things, like stealing from your mom's purse. You think you're going to go to hell.
And, and I was raised Southern Baptist, and there was kind of that fear there as well.
Yeah,
It's
that's horrific. Southern Baptism is horrific.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I think, and I'm a non-Catholic and a non-Christian. I wasn't raised that way, but like, from what I understand about these two, I do feel like maybe in Catholicism, obviously there's a lot of guilt, but I think they offer a clearer path to not going to hell because you do get to go to confession and like repent and get last rites. So I feel like there are a lot more safeguards in Catholicism for ways you cannot go to hell. Whereas like in Protestantism, it's just like, you gotta pray and hope. You just gotta, you gotta ask, you gotta see if you can feel it. Whereas like Catholicism is like, do these things, you won't go to hell.
Say 5 Hail Marys and you're good.
Yeah. Protestantism it's a real gamble. Also, when I was younger, I thought that the whispering part where they say S-I-N was him saying, yes, I am.
That's understandable.
It goes with it anyway, but
Yeah.
I got it wrong for years.
I saw some people saying, so he's spelling out S-I-N-I-S-I-N.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard people, read people saying that they think it's sin, like obviously spelling sin, I sin.
Right.
Or it's spelling sin is in.
I don't know.
It's like, I think it's just mostly left up to the listener's interpretation.
Yeah, I've always thought about it as sin, I sin.
Right.
Or really just a way to keep it rhythmically in line. So, or like sin or just sin backwards,
Right.
I never thought about it as sin is in.
Me neither, but that's just something I saw, so I wanted to include everybody's viewpoint.
I do wonder if any parents like use that as like their Judas Priest moment of like, this band is encouraging people to sin.
So the Catholicism. It's Catholicism where he's saying like, hallelujah, and come hear the praise and let the Spirit come on through ya. But that's, to me, sounds more like Southern Baptist.
Right. I mean, I think he takes from different things, but the contrition part is for sure Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
The other part, you're right, does sound more Protestant, more like a Southern preacher, which we know that he explored in Revenge Phase. And so I think he carried over that attitude to the song.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
So I think that's why you get a mashup.
Can you imagine if he had performed this song in the preacher outfit?
That would be great.
Holy shit. Wow. The tongue roll on Ashes to Ashes, I just want to shout out to it. Hello, there you are. I don't know why he does it. I don't know why it happens. There's no R there. There's no reason for it to happen, but I'm glad that it does.
I'm glad you got your feelings out about that.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. This song is so cabaret and it's so theater. And this is one of the things where like, it's supposed to be like kind of in a jazz club kind of thing. And that feels like it's the bass line to me is reminiscent of like a walking bass line. It's like dun 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 dun, that kind of bass line. But I found one in particular for an example. Not saying it's this specifically. The bass here is very like, all right, we're jazzy, we're snazzy, and it's kind of a dancey kind of song. You're like, just want to bop to it.
Ray's solo in this though is very good. There's a lot of wah pedal, but I'm here for it.
Whatever,
it's
man.
It's very like hair bandish.
Yeah, and I also wanted to touch on the demos.
Oh yeah, okay. I forgot we were talking about "I Don't Love You" in the demos. And I was like, oh yeah, I totally fucking forgot about the demos. Okay, so the demos, even though I love this song, I love the first demo version of it even more. It is completely different.
So
it
different.
Is nothing to do with this at all, but I love it. I love that song. I wish we had a finished version.
Yeah, I could do a whole other page of notes on the first demo version. It's much softer. It's like less sassy, more sad.
Totally different.
Yeah, but the "Don't Walk Away" kind of thing, like I think they maybe broke this down and pulled some of the pieces from it into other songs, like "I Don't Love You."
Yeah, for sure.
There's this part in particular in the whatchamacallit. A couple things they pulled into the final version. This rhythm. And this, I think, was also used in Heaven Help Us, the part that I'm about to play. But that like bump, 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 that part that they played in the first one.
Yeah.
That's definitely Heaven Help Us. Da, 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 can't I live, I've been breathing, no sleep, and no scream. That's Heaven Help Us. So I like that they have these demos and they're like, no, we don't want to use that, but we're going to keep a couple parts that we like and use them in other songs.
Mm-hmm.
That, they're like, I really vibe with this part, so we're going to take that.
Yeah.
And another one. So this part, I think, just a really short part, they used this in Kiss the Ring in Conventional Weapons.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely in Kiss the Ring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that's really cool. Only thing I have on the second demo version, because it's
pretty similar.
Yeah, essentially it's the same thing.
The lyrics are a little different, but
yeah, but
perhaps.
The only thing I have on it is that Ray's guitars at the end are insane. They're nuts.
They are insane.
That's nuts.
Sometimes, I mean, I don't listen to a lot of classic rock because I don't generally enjoy it. But sometimes there are songs that are bops, you know, and you listen to them. And sometimes you listen to the guitar solo and I kind of like feel embarrassed. It's just like so excessive. And you're like, oh.
Ray was feeling himself.
And that's kind of what that is.
Oh my goodness. I will not.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying like it's such an excess that it feels almost embarrassing to
No, it's not embarrassing.
listen to.
He's being extra.
Imagine living with that person, like in a house recording this for like 6 weeks or however many weeks they're there.
I mean, I'm sure he wasn't doing that all the time.
Yeah, but like
just
you know that he can.
Right, yes. No, you know that he can. I mean, you can do that all the time. You know that he can do that at any point in his life. He could do that right now.
I love it when live Gerard points to him and says, Toro, shred.
Yes.
Put the spotlight on Toro.
I love when
Turn the guitars up.
He's like, everybody check this out. Toro.
Sound guy. Full volume.
Bring that shit up.
And Ray delivers.
Yes, he does. He always delivers. I love Ray Toro. I need a shirt. That's all I got.
Cancer.
Turn away if you could get me a drink.
So, I Don't Love You is not a song that I skip.
Mm-hmm.
Cancer is a song that I skip.
It every time.
I skip it. It's my skip song because I really prefer the live version to the studio version.
Yeah,
just so much more.
Right.
Gerard does it a lot with just him singing and James on keys, like Ray on guitar.
Yes.
And I find that to be so pretty and tear-jerking.
Yeah.
And I don't like the extra things on this track.
No, I have that in my notes as well. Like, I wish that they had just kept it a little more stripped down. Like, I know Frank says, like, this is one of our most stripped down songs.
Right.
And, like, yeah, but you could have stripped it down a little more.
Even more.
You could have just had the piano and Gerard, and it would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as they bring the drums in, I'm like, oh, man.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing I don't like about it is I think there's an effect on Gerard's voice, or maybe it's compression or something.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit mechanic sounding, and I really don't like that because, again, I know that when he sings it live, it's just his voice, and it sounds so great. And whoever made that decision in production to do that to his voice should be tarred and feathered. Because, like, if he just sang this straight up, just his voice in a mic, it would be so good, so much better.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
In my opinion.
I want to talk about the live version real quick because it is my preferred version.
Yeah.
So there was a live show where he sang, before this, he sang a piece of a stripped down version of Queen's Flash before going into Cancer. And that's really lovely.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's on Project Revolution and you guys should go listen to it. And also sometimes he'll pull a Queen move at the end because this is usually a show ending song. And he'll drag out the last two words. He'll drag out leaving and just leave a big pause for people to get hyped. Mm-hmm. And then do the U. And then he's like, I'm out. Good night, New York.
'Cause the hardest part of this is leaving.
It's very clean. It's very good. And again, this is a show ending song. And so usually people have left the stage, except for our dear Franklin, who sometimes will stay on side stage.
Yeah.
Because he likes hearing Gerard sing.
Yeah.
Makes my heart hurt.
He said that.
So cute.
He said that it's his favorite song ever. Like, not just his favorite song that they've written, but his favorite song.
Oh, yeah.
Ever.
Can I read the notes for it?
At least at the time of that interview recording, that was his favorite song.
Let me read you the notes he wrote.
Yes.
In the booklet. And try not to cry.
Okay.
Try really hard.
I'm sure I'll succeed.
Frank says, This is my favorite song we've ever written. I cannot just superficially listen to this song. I feel it deeply every time I hear it, and I have to try my best to hold back tears. Gerard's vocal performance is probably one of the best I've ever heard. It's strong yet frail, sad, hurt, and honest. I'm in my favorite band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He sure was.
That is so sweet.
Yeah. So Gerard had the idea for this song, and he asked Rob to sit at a piano with him and just play something. And so they wrote this song in like 10 minutes and recorded it within 3 takes.
Not surprised.
Yeah. I think that they should have just, again, they should have just left it at that. They should have just left it.
They didn't need all this extra, like, also I feel like this song is kind of, for me, is kind of like Revenge's interlude, you know, because I feel like there's a separation between the half of the album before this track and the half after, and that this song sounds so different from the other tracks on the album, and like isn't written the same, doesn't have a chorus or anything, you know?
Yeah.
So it kind of, in my mind, I treat it like an interlude, and if it was just him and piano, it would function that way better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Ray does play bass on this track.
He does play bass, and he said he played bass on a couple other tracks. I don't know what they are.
I don't know which ones.
Maybe we'll get to them.
But Ray plays bass on this song like live a couple times, but most times it's just like Gerard, Ray on acoustic, and Dewey's, and like that's it. But sometimes they bring in the drums and everything. I'm like, no, thank you.
Also, in their acoustic session in Danger Days era, they did this song.
Yes.
And Frank's shaking a maraca.
I love it.
And he and Ray are trying to do backing vocals, which probably would sound really cute, except their mics are off.
Yep.
And it is so funny because they don't know exactly that their mics are off, so they're holding their ears, seeing if like they just can't hear themselves, you know? But no, dude, the mics are off.
Even if your mic is off, you still have to sing, like regardless, because maybe the sound people will realize and they'll turn your mic back on.
But it's really funny.
Which usually happens, but sometimes it doesn't. I've done a performance one time. It was a performance for a Mothers of Rock concert, which is like a benefit thing for Girls Inc. And I did the whole performance, and I was on lead vocals with 2 other vocals doing the harmonies with me, and my mic was off the entire time.
Yeah.
The entire time. I was like, well, there goes the melody. That's fine, I guess.
I don't know, because that session is split up into different videos, so I'm not sure if it ended the set or not. If it did, I bet the sound guys were just like, oh, it's just Gerard at the end. He's
right.
All these other 2 guys are done.
Yeah.
Little did they know.
They don't do anything.
I would have loved to hear them both do background vocals, though.
Yeah,
I'm
that
so
would've been
disappointed that was lost.
I know.
Also, so Rob's piano in the background kind of gives me a Don't Cry For Me Argentina vibe in certain places. I feel that really strongly, and it would be fitting because that's a song where it's like Ava Perón is also dying of cancer, so it thematically fits in, which makes me wonder if it's intentional. And I'm just going to go out on a limb and say it is intentional.
Sure, that's
I'm
valid.
just declaring that.
Yeah. I wanted to put in this clip of Gerard talking about cancer because I just, there's no reason for me to read it when he's just saying it here, and he could sum it up better than I could, so.
I think it's the most emotionally impactful song we've ever written. I think we had gotten to a point as songwriters where it's so terrifyingly honest and in your face that it needs to be, but it garners an immediate response from people. People can't help but listen to the song. They can't help but shut up when it's playing, and that's part of the idea. That cancer affects 1 in every 3 people, and it's something that's affected all of us and something we take very seriously. And that's kind of why the title had to be so brutally honest. I think people may argue that the title's heavy-handed or that it's trying to get a reaction out of people, and the only reaction it's trying to get out of people is to face the honesty of it. And I feel that the song's actually very empowering. It was, I don't know if it was difficult to write so much as difficult to perform a little bit, but it was a lot of those takes are really just one of the first 3 takes.
Yeah, I think it's better that it's just called Cancer rather than trying to give it an artistic title or
Yeah.
a flowery title.
Yeah, he said it's not really a poetic song. Like, he didn't intend it to be that way. It's straightforward, it's brutal, it's hard to listen to. I think it might actually be harder to listen to for those who have loved ones affected by cancer rather than the ones affected by cancer themselves. Because they, like, the people with cancer, they know how brutal it is. They know how terrifying and ugly and harsh it is. But for people who have loved ones affected by cancer, it's hard to hear that your loved one is suffering. It's hard to hear how they are suffering, you know?
Mm-hmm. It's a really straightforward song.
Yeah.
Both in the title and like the image of lips chapped and faded. You know, it's very direct about its images.
Yeah.
Much in the way that Skylines and Turnstiles was a very direct song about a tragedy.
Yeah.
And, you know, the lyrics are the patient is dying, his body's breaking down, he's in pain, and he has to emotionally come to grips with the fact that his life is about to end. And the song is about him wanting to part ways with his loved ones sincerely and also on his terms as much as possible before he dies and doesn't have a choice about it anymore.
Right.
And Gerard has said, you know, the use of cancer on the album is a metaphor because it's, you know, one of the few diseases you can have that's terminal, but you also have time to contemplate your existence and the end of it. But like he said, 1 in 3 people, a little bit more than 1 in 3 people get diagnosed with cancer. And of course, those people have families. So it affects maybe like most people in this country.
Yeah. It's a lot.
A lot. If you count the number of people, you know, around the person diagnosed, it's got to be a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's a brutal disease, you know, for the patients and for the people that are caring for them. And I think that this song captures something that's really emotionally significant in that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that art that's made about tragedy or hardship helps us process it in ways that, like, facts don't, or, like, your doctors won't. Because they can tell you, like, what's going to happen to you and what the treatments are like, but they can't help you emotionally get through it always.
Right.
And Ray mentioned that even though he really liked the song, he struggled with it for a little bit.
Right.
Because of the subject matter. He wasn't sure whether it would help or hurt people.
Right.
But someone that he knew who's affected with cancer reassured him that it was more like a tribute to those who have passed and could help families who are healing.
All right. Yeah, it's hard to listen to. I think it can go either way. Like, maybe that particular person, it can help, or maybe that particular family. But, like, for other people, like, it's just too direct and it's too, you know, in your face, like, painful. You know, I heard this song live when the one and only concert I was ever able to go to of theirs. And I didn't think that I was going to be a concert crier, but I fucking bawled my eyes out at this concert because it was the last song that they performed. They had an encore, which was Helena. But, I mean, it's just like it leaves you emotionally drained after they perform it live and you're, like, surrounded by all this energy. Mm-hmm. And if you're empathetic at all, it's, like, so much. It's so much. So they leave the stage and everybody's just like, oh, like, I need aftercare. I need help. Come back. And then they do, and then they play Helena, and it's great. And it's like, really, you know, it leaves you with a good feeling at the end of the concert rather than, like, you're torn apart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think I was going to be a concert crier, but it was just overwhelming. And it was 2 months after my dad had passed of cancer, so it was just like, I don't know, it was a lot.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
I can see how people would have a problem with it, but I can also see the value of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're ending on kind of a bummer.
Yeah, well, that's cancer for you.
That's all you got.
Yep. Y'all don't get aftercare for another 2 weeks.
This is a dark album.
Yeah. We're not trying to front and say it's not. It is.
But are we done with cancer?
Yeah, I'm done.
I think we've done our duty on these songs.
Yeah, I'm glad to leave cancer in the past.
And now we have some other business to attend to.
Mm-hmm.
The first order of business is our song recommendations. Or not even recommendations, just things we've been listening to this week. We forgot last week, you know, mea culpa, fucking sorry, you know? We do our best. That was a long episode. Give us a break. So we're going to do 2 this week each to make up for it. What have you got?
I've been listening a lot to A Tribe Called Quest.
Cool.
So We the People is my favorite right now by them.
Mm-hmm.
The doors and signs with, don't try to rhyme with. VH1 has a show that you can waste your time with. Guilty pleasures take the edge off reality, and for a salary, I probably do that just sporadically. The OG Gucci boots are smitten with.
Why do you like it?
The subject matter is really progressive, especially because it was written in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
It's just talking about social justice and injustices in the minority community and prejudice and all that.
Do you know what year it was written?
96, I think.
So after Rodney King.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yep, there you go. Yeah, but they mention gay people too, which is like, wow, for the 90s,
Yeah.
especially.
So my song that I've been listening to has none of those attributes to it.
Mm-hmm.
I've been listening to, so Weezer came out with a cover album, which I'm really torn on. I don't know if I like it because they don't really transform anything a lot. They just sort of make it different. It's a little bit more electronic.
Mm-hmm.
They've got guitars with effects on them. They don't sound like guitars, And so they did a cover of No Scrubs.
Scrub is a guy that can't get no love from me. Hanging up the passenger side of his best friend's ride. Trying to holler at don't have a car, then you're walking. Oh yes, son, I'm talking to you.
And I've just been listening to it a lot because it's probably the best cover on there. But it's, again, not very transformative. And I don't really know what to make of it. I don't know if I like it, but it is sort of addicting to listen to.
Right. As No Scrubs will do.
Yeah. So, I don't know. That's just something I've been listening to a lot.
Yeah.
The Weezer cover out, I don't know.
A lot of people like it, man. I haven't listened to it yet.
Well, I didn't listen to all of it. Just listened to a few songs off of it. It's not bad, It's like a lot of Weezer. It's not bad, but
Right.
Is it good? I don't know.
Oh, man.
I like Weezer because we saw Weezer at Riot Fest,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't think I would like that show as much as I did, but I do because
I
they're
really did.
Just Rivers is a cool guy,
Yeah.
and he had Aha's "Take on Me" is on there, which he played at Riot Fest,
That
and
was awesome.
it was like a preview, I guess. And so that's really cool. I don't know. I think the covers work better live
Yeah,
than in an album.
You know what I like about Weezer live is that he is so consistent and his voice is so strong.
It's like
and
a perfect
sounds,
recreation.
Yeah, it sounds exactly like he does on the album. And like even when he changes things up, he's just so consistent.
It's because he's not like a Gerard. He's not like an entertainer
screamer.
necessarily on stage. Well, he doesn't like dance and
Yeah.
he does his thing. It's
Well, he's
a little
playing
sweater.
guitar.
Yeah.
He's got to stand a little more still for playing guitar and singing.
And that's what Weezer does. That's their whole thing. So
Yeah, I like
that's
that.
for them. What's your second song?
Uproar by Gouge Away.
Okay. Why do you like it?
It's a female-fronted punk band, and this song goes hard as hell. Like honestly, do you know it?
I don't.
You'll like it. I'm sure.
I like their band name though, because I also like the Pixies.
Yes, that's what it's referencing. That's essentially the whole song. That goes on for like a minute and 16 seconds, and it's wonderful.
That's cool. I like that. It reminds me of something else that I can't think of right now. But it's a punk song, so of course it does.
Mm-hmm.
My second song is also a song by a female-fronted punk band.
Nice.
It's a band called Motherfucker, which
Yes.
is a local Athens band. I'm listening to it because I went to their show last night with my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've listened to their song that's called I'm Fucking Dick Dale.
When the bomb drops, I will aim for you. When the dust settles, I will come for you. When I hit you, you won't know what to do. When I catch you, you won't know what.
Wow.
And their whole album is really good. They're really good live. And the show is really good. They ended with like a dance party. They had like a light show and played some dancey songs.
Mhm.
That was adorable.
Nice.
And also at the show, first of all, the whole show is an older crowd. And I can't tell you why. I don't know. But there's a woman there who was in like her 60s and she was tearing it up.
Yes, good for her.
It was like a really the music wasn't mellow, but the people were mellow. Like there wasn't really like a pit.
Mhm.
But this woman made her way to the front and she was just going hard. She was so excited and she just danced her ass off in like mad respect.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I want to be her when I grow up, but I know I'll never be her.
You can aspire to it.
She was awesome though.
Yeah.
Our second order of business.
Mm-hmm.
Fanecdotes. So fanecdotes. We haven't done these in a while. We've had really long episodes. But now we have time. So here we go. So this is a fanecdote from Ryan Rose. Hello. I really enjoy your podcast. Thank you. And I wanted to share my story of how I got drafted into the MC Army. I was 10-ish. I heard this really cool song on the radio, and I thought, wow, what a fun song. Parentheses, it was Welcome to the Black Parade. I had no idea what the song was called or who it was by. I just knew that I loved it. Fast forward a year or so. A friend of mine had gotten me into 21 Pilots. I was listening to their station on Pandora, and Welcome to the Black Parade comes on. I think, oh, hey, I know this song. And I check the name and artist. I started an MCR radio, and the first song that plays is Helena. I was hooked. Unfortunately, I never got to see them live, but I still love their music. It's impacted my life a lot. P.S. I enjoyed your most recent episode. I laughed when you guys said sopranos were the ones who like Broadway tunes most because I sing soprano. LOL.
Hell yeah.
Was I wrong, though? Hey, I got a question for the kids. Do you kids use Pandora? Because when I was a teenager, we used Pandora. But then I guess when I stopped using it, I thought that everyone stopped using it. And like it wasn't popular anymore. But is it popular amongst you whippersnappers?
I don't know. So next is a story from Jordan. So Jordan says, I've been a fan since I was 9. I'm 25 now, so I guess this is pretty much just a forever thing at this point. I got into them because my older cousin, whom I spent a lot of time with, I had divorced parents, bought Bullets and hated it. I guess we can't all have good taste in music. I was obviously way too little to get any cool early days stories, but I created this weird connection between vampires and Christmas Day. I had just gotten my first Walkman, and I listened to that song over and over and over again on the drives between all my relatives' house that day. I was absolutely hooked. I had a weird immediate connection with their music and them as a band. I also thought I was so cool and hardcore because everyone else my age was listening to Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. I was still Team NSYNC though, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's the only team.
Yeah, you have to be. They have been with me through pretty much everything, the good, the bad, and the boring. My parents and their shitty significant others, moving all the time, middle school, high school, shitty boyfriend stuff, and eventually they even helped me get through 6 years in the Navy. I'm out of the Navy now and my life is a lot easier. I'm going to college and living in the state I always wanted to live in, Washington. It's gorgeous, but I still need them around. They're the ultimate cozy sweater. And so they said the following is a scattered account of all the times I've seen them. We're only going to pull a couple of these because there are multiple. What a blessed fan.
God fucking bless. Also, I'm jealous. I hate you, but good for you.
Like, I'm glad that you were able to have these experiences. So the first one. My local radio station, 106.7 KROQ, because we all know
legendary.
We all know this radio station, hosted a show every December called Almost Acoustic Christmas.
Yeah, they did.
And My Chemical Romance was on the bill. Fortune favored me that year because my little brother wanted to go for his birthday. At the time, he was the cutest blonde-haired, big blue-eyed little dude you had ever seen. I exploited the shit out of him. I found the table where they were handing out the pit wristbands, scoped out the most middle-aged mom-looking one around the table, and pushed my brother in her direction. I had him, in his cutest imitation of that kid from Big Daddy voice, tell the lady that it was his birthday, and all he wanted was to be in the pit so he could see MCR up close. My evil plan worked, and we rocked the fuck out together. I owe him.
Masterful.
Yes, that was an incredible plan.
I don't have any siblings, but if I did, I would want to use them for my own personal gain.
Next story is, I met them one time. I worked at Hot Topic for about 3 years. It was actually the only place in my town that let me work with crazy colored hair. I always feel exceptionally old when I tell this story to people because kids these days don't understand. It wasn't cool to have fucking unicorn hair or whatever they're calling it now. I lived in a rich place, but I was not a rich person, so, I didn't really get along with the locals. But anyway, everyone I worked with obviously knew that I was a more than huge MCR fan, and so they would tell me little things that they saw about them. Most of the time, I already knew what they were talking about, but my district manager came in one day with a big old smile on his face. Usually that meant something was going to happen that we weren't necessarily going to like. This time, however, he was excited to tell me that Hot Topic was scheduling a meet and greet in Hollywood with MCR to promote Danger Days. I lost my shit a little, but then asked him how I could get wristbands. He gave me 3 under the condition that if that Hot Topic location needed help that night, I would work a shift. Worth it. I brought them my 3 Cheers liner notes to sign. I was wearing a Danzig shirt, and they all commented on it and said that they were excited to see kids still listening to the good stuff. In my panic and excitement, I blurted out, "Are you guys going?" They cautiously asked me what I was talking about, so I found my little 17-year-old voice and asked if they were planning on seeing Danzig live. I already had tickets, so I was extra excited. They all got really hyped but confused because somehow they didn't know that he was still touring or making music. Ray asked me, and this is a direct quote, "Are you sure it's not Ben Danzig, like his lesser-known cousin?" So I told them, no, it's the real Glenn Danzig, showed them my ticket receipt, I'm cringing, and I like to think that they all went and had a great time. Who really knows, though? I shook all their hands and thanked them for everything, but I still don't have the right words to explain how much they did for me and how much they mean to me. But thank you again for starting this podcast, and thank you for giving me something fun to look forward to.
That was cute.
You're welcome, Jordan, and thank you for those stories.
Oh, that was cute. So my next anecdote is from Heath Lambert. He says, "Hey there, I'm enjoying the podcast. At some point you discussed the idea of fans catching flack for still loving the band past their teen years into adulthood. Well, I'll be 41 in January, and I love MCR just as much as ever. I have zero patience for that special brand of side-eye from people that say, but you're not a 14-year-old girl."
Mm-hmm.
I had started hearing about MCR in 2003. Wow, an original fan.
Yes.
Incredible. And decided to check them out. I listened to Bullets and Revenge, and to my discredit, wasn't into it. I didn't dislike it, it just didn't set me on fire or anything. It wasn't my bag. I filed them away in my mental, well, I gave it a shot file, and went back to ignoring them. But then, one blessed night in 2005, Fuse was playing on the TV in the break room at work. God bless Fuse. It was one of those half-hour blocks where they show 4 or 5 videos from the same band. I got sucked in, and the light bulb went on. As I watched, wrapped, the videos for Ghost of You, I'm Not Okay, Famous Last Words, and Black Parade changed my world. Holy shit, I get it now. I've been an idiot. And an obsession was born. It's never been an aesthetic for me. I've never been an emo kid. Aside from Panic at the Disco, MCR is the only emo band I like. I'm not a depressed teenage girl. I'm a grown-ass man who is happy pretty much all the time. It's about solid musicianship. From Gerard's lyrical turns of phrase and vocals to the boys' stellar guitar work, MCR is just great fucking music, all caps. I'll stop rambling, but my point is this. From an old man who is about to get 2 MCR tattoos, has it in his last will and testament that someone will sing Cancer at my funeral, and who still involuntarily drives way too fast whenever Danger Days is playing, never apologize for loving what you love, or however fucking long you want to love it. Heath, you are a hero.
Yes, go Heath.
I want to be Heath when I grow up. God damn, I want to be 41 and ready to get even more MCR tattoos.
Yes.
Because by that time, I will already have several.
Like, guaranteed you will have at least 4.
God, that is... I want to hang that up on my wall. Heath is right. Listen to Heath.
Yes.
Take your words of wisdom from Heath. God, I love Heath. Can we be friends? Where do you hang out? Can we hang out together? God, an OG.
Yeah. All right, our last anecdote is from Gerard is Very Festive on Instagram.
And I think maybe they changed their name now, so it might be different.
They sure did change their name.
I don't know what it is, but you know if
Yes.
you are this person.
Yes. So, I mentioned My Chemical Romance around my mom once or twice when I was first starting to get into them. And because we didn't used to be super close nor live together, she bought me all MCR stuff for Christmas. I'm not complaining because I love all things My Chem now, but back then I was pissed off because I didn't like them too much and I only knew a couple of songs. Be grateful. She bought me a book and I ripped out all the My Chem pictures and put them on my wall. I even hung up the MCR blanket she got me. She got you an MCR blanket.
We also have an MCR blanket, and it is the blanket that we use to dampen this table to record our podcast on.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
And that just sent me into a spiral of MCR. I now love the boys with all my heart, and even though I have moved, I still have those pictures on my wall. They mean so much to me. So basically, my mom bought me all My Chemical Romance things for Christmas a couple of years ago, and I really didn't even know them at all.
What a roundabout way to get into them.
Yeah.
All right. Those are the fan anecdotes for this week. We have one last piece of business, which is our patron shoutouts. Here are the people who are supporting us on Patreon who have donated $2 or more a month. And if you want to get a shout out like them, you can do the same thing. Here they are. Tim Malpass, Vienna Langton, Gabby Dauber, Quinn Torrens, my mom, Tara Lamantia, Cherith McGregor, Katie Kelly, Melissa Contreras, Phil Grant, Amber Johnson, Caitlin Carnes, Anne Louise Mullen, Kayla Williams. Those are all of our patrons donating $2 or more a month. Thank you guys so much. If you want to support us on Patreon, you can find us at patreon.com/chemicalfancast. And we appreciate all donations.
Mm-hmm.
Very close to our heart.
Yes. All right, so that's it for this week. So follow us on the socials, Twitter and Insta at Chemical Fancast, Facebook, My Chemical Fancast, and if you have a fanecdote you would like to send to us, you can do that at mychemicalfancast@gmail.com.
And if you like our podcast, we would so appreciate it if you would rate and review us on iTunes, because that really helps us get our podcast out to more people. So yeah, leave a comment, leave a review. We love your words. Give them to us.
Give us words.
But that's all we've got for this week. So until next time, I'm Kat.
And I'm Haley.
And this is My Chemical Fancast. Bye.